Hello, everyone, and welcome to American History 2. My name is Steve Ford, and I'm going to take the next few minutes and give you a little introduction to my class and what details would be probably helpful for you to know in the start of this school year. American History 2 is a required course according to the state of North Carolina. This year is a little bit different since we are starting in the online learning environment. Typically, this is a senior level course that you would take in your fourth year of your social studies requirements. But since we are starting in the online environment for scheduling purposes, ease of transition, we are only offering US 2 this year and not US 1. So with that said, I do also have quite a few juniors enrolled in this course as well. So if you are the parent or guardian of a senior, your student is taking this course in its correct order. If you are the parent guardian of a junior, then your student is taking this in a reverse order. They will simply take American 1 as a senior. So they will still get the same content, just a little bit of a different order for the junior class members. What I thought we would do is start off with a little bit of biography about me, help you get to know me and where I'm coming from and my viewpoint on history. And then we'll move into what this course will look like throughout the course of the year. So for myself, a little bit of bio on me. Again, my name is Steve Ford. I have taught at Pine Lake now. I am presently in my 13th year, and overall I have taught for 27 years. Did quite a few years in Ohio before coming here. Took a few years where I was actually Mr. Mom for about 5 years, and then got back into teaching when we moved to North Carolina for my wife's work. And we have now been here in Carolina for 16 years. Just last August was our anniversary of coming here. Big sports nut. Love a lot of different sports, different varieties. My big ones, I've got a couple symbolic pictures up here for you, but believe it or not, I am a Cleveland Browns fan. So I do know misery. You can send your condolences my way for being a Browns fan. Pirates fan in baseball and a Lakers fan in basketball. But overall, love sports in general. Big movie buff. Love to travel quite a bit as well. And this is my family that you're looking at here in the middle picture. My wife Kim and my two sons, Trey and Riley. Trey is my oldest. His picture is in the upper right. He is a graduate of Appalachian State, played basketball at App State, and is currently a graduate assistant coach at Carson Newman University in Tennessee. My youngest is Riley on the left in the family picture and the bottom right in the collage. Riley is presently a junior at App State. He is now a member of, and he has been the last couple years, but a member of the training staff for the football team. So he gets a lot of fun out of that, and then eventually wants to take his career into sports medicine in some way, shape, or form. And of course, can't leave out my dog. My dog is Murphy. He is a chocolate lab and 2 years old now. A little bit of a weird fact on me. I am an avid shoe collector. Love Jordans, Air Jordans in particular, and presently have about 75 pair in my closet. So that gets me a lot of grief at home, as you can imagine. I am a former basketball coach. I coached a lot in Ohio, did for the first few years down here in North Carolina as well, but ultimately gave up coaching when my oldest entered high school, so I wouldn't miss any of his games. But in general, just a big sports nut, as I mentioned earlier. Here at school, I am responsible also for the student council. I do run student council, not quite sure how that's going to look this year, but a student council advisor as well, and got a lot of great kids here at Pine Lake that participate in that as well. This is my classroom. Hopefully we can all get back in here before too long, but this is where your students will be. Got a lot of flags that decorate my room. I do love the flags as well as one of my oddball collections that I like to have. Very passionate about history. I love history. I love doing some hands-on work with the students and really like to try to sort of connect the dots, if you will, for present-day connections. We did a lot of that already this year, but I really love the students to be able to see how history does repeat itself. And I love the idea of history, sort of how one little event can make such a huge change on a large scale. So the course itself is currently running for US 2. We pick up at the end of the Civil War, post-Reconstruction, and we take that into as close as we can to present day, usually get somewhere in the early 2000s. One of the last things that we do is the attacks on the World Trade Center in 2001. So I've got quite a few years of history to cover, a lot of different events, and again, just love the topic and being able to sort of make that connections for students to be able to learn from the past. So hopefully we do not make those same mistakes in the future. This is our Canvas page, our home page for the course, that hopefully everybody has taken a role as an observer on the page. But this is the nuts and bolts of the course, where your students will find all the assignments, the due dates, etc., but pretty much the nuts and bolts of the course. So I would encourage everyone to become familiar with this. I do have links on this page to my email. I do have a link to the syllabus as well. If you are interested in a few more details on the class, I would encourage you to check out the syllabus. But I've mentioned the topics that we cover in the course already. Up here at the top is pretty much a little synopsis of where we're going. American 2 is basically what is considered modern history. A lot of connections, as I mentioned, to the present day. This is a big tool for students. I would strongly suggest the use of the calendar. I have explained to the students that all due dates are on the calendar, so if you're ever curious what we're doing in class, you're more than welcome to sort of check the calendar out. A lot of work being done with those due dates, and then also the online courses. I think everybody is aware, but the conference link is also on this page here in the upper left. So just a little bit of work and a look at this class. Announcements is probably the third thing that I would point out on this page. Announcements are where I will put details for any homework assignments. So if your student is unsure of what an assignment is, you would want to refer them to announcements for those details. I'm very excited about this year. I hope you all are interested in your students' progress. Please know that my door is always open. I would love to stay in contact with everybody. Email is probably the best way to get a hold of me, and I would strongly suggest just sending a regular email as opposed to communicating through Canvas. Canvas sometimes takes a day or two before I get a notification that I do have a communication. So the easiest and best way to get a hold of me is via email. Please feel free to reach out if you do have any concerns. I hope to communicate with you folks a lot this year, not only from any negatives that may arise or concerns, but also some positives. Hopefully we have some time to work those things in throughout the year as well. but please don't hesitate to contact me if I can ever help in any way. I do have office hours every weekday afternoon, so if your student does need help, I encourage them to sort of follow the same path. Let me know via an email, and we will set up a Zoom conference and be able to communicate with each other a little better. So I appreciate you all listening in, and with that, I will say my goodbyes for now. Can't wait to get to meet everybody actually in person, and I appreciate you listening. Thanks, and have a great rest of your day.